Okay, I agree that there should be life in another planets because it's impossible to think that we have around million of thousands of planets around the universe, and it's impossible to think that there is not another type of life, not just like the human, but another type of life.
I totally agree with Santiago. I think that the universe is a huge place and that somewhere in that universe there must be some sort of life. Maybe not as advanced as us humans, but maybe some sort of microscopic life.
I see your point, but in my opinion, it is really difficult to replicate the exact same life as in Earth. And I also think that it's really difficult that in so many years, the scientists haven't found anything like life in other planets.
I couldn't agree more because we have a lot of technological advances. It would be rather impossible not to see if there was some kind of life in the other planets that we send satellites to.
Mm, well, all in all, I guess we'll know eventually when we have better technology and everything, and we will know if there's any sort of life or there isn't.
That is a good point, but I think that there is a possibility that there is life in another planet because, like the Area 51, they have a lot of information that they don't want to share with the people, and I think that there is a conclusion that it can be possible that life in another planets can be possible.
I agreed with Maria Jose's point because I think that by now, scientists with all of the technology would have found some sort of life in other planets. And I disagree with Santiago's point because Area 51, it could be all lies. We don't have any proof of what they found.
From my point of view, until we know what the Area 51 contains, we cannot assume there is life in other planets.
Well, I believe that, as my classmate Santiago said, there definitely should be any sort of life in the universe. But like I mentioned before, I guess we'll never know for surely until there is certain evidence that points whether it is or there is not life.
And in conclusion, it's true that it's difficult to replicate the same condition as the Earth to give life. But I think, in my opinion, that there is no impossible because we have only discovered a little bit of the huge universe. So I think that if we can travel more to another galaxies or wherever, we could find another type of life. It doesn't have to be specifically as the human or as we know, but it can be like Christian said, microscopic type of life.
Yes, I also agree with Santiago. That would be my conclusion also.
Well, summing up, I agree with Maria Jose that until we don't have any proof of what's inside of Area 51 or places like that, we cannot assume there's life in other places. And I agree with Christian and Santiago that maybe someday we will have more proof and investigate more.
I totally agree that the universe is really wide and we haven't discovered like 1/3 of it. So we will have to wait and see until we explore more of it.